So as you can see, the entrepreneur is not in your usual Colombo corporate office. In fact, we are by the bay in Unawatuna at the beautiful show by Hoppa property. And we have with us two gentlemen, Mr. Taraka Disanayaka and Mr. Shehan Suwandaratna.
I'm Shehan Suwandaratna and I've schooled in Asian International, then finished up in Australia, higher studies there as well. And worked there, moved here 7 years ago. And worked in John Keats for a fair while, for about 6 years. And then obviously jumped on this venture after that.
I'm Taraka Disanayaka and I went to school at Royal College up to O-levels. Then after that I moved to United States. I did my degree in aviation and business administration. I did my master's there as well. Then I worked for Delta Airlines for a couple of years. Worked as a flight instructor. And then I came down to Sri Lanka about 3 years ago and started this venture.
Each of you put together have diverse backgrounds and they're totally different from each other. So what was the driving force that brought you together to get into the hospitality industry?
So first and foremost, driving force together, we're best friends for the last 25 years. Right? So we understood each other, the way our thinking patterns really well. The business venture, it was a fairly simple notion. We didn't, basically I was giving a lecture in golf and he joined me in the golf fort to have some lunch, and we saw a gap in the market, which was, it was 80-95%, 90% foreign folk there, and there was no good local place to eat. That was on a Sunday. We basically gave our resignations on Monday and signed our first lease on Wednesday. So that's how we went.
That's quite an inspiring story where you just realize something one day and the next day you act on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how we figured it was, if we thought too much, we wouldn't do it. I have two children, we have our own things happening, so we thought, we saw the gap, let's give it a go. We've been best mates. And
always had the interest towards getting into hospitality, hotels, all of that. So I was down on holiday and actually we were looking for a Sri Lankan restaurant because I just came back from US. Couldn't find one, thought we'll open it. And back in Miami, my roommate was a chef. So he helped us with creating the menu, and that's how all Hoppa started.
How would you best describe what you've established? How would you best describe the Hoppa group?
okay, so basically the whole idea is where we saw a large development in the lower sector of tourism, so the backpackers and all of that, and there's there's been massive growth in the HNIs, or the high net worth individuals tourism. Where we also saw the gap in the market was that mid-section, mid-level tourists, and we find that to be growing. So that is the basis for our business and the business model pretty much.
Can you speak on the competition and the challenges you faced and the strategies that are in line with such?
The basic competition that we have is obviously most of our businesses are situated in the main stretch. So if you look at our property in Golford, it's on Pedlar Street. Our property here is on the main Unawatuna Bay. So the competition in the sense of it's 150 restaurants and bars here, about I think 70 or 80 inside the Golford. So that is our competition, and the way we work it is basically giving a good product at a reasonable price, targeting that demographic of 24 to 40 year olds. That's basically how we target. So the challenges we face is basically the red tape that we have in the sense of licensing and the time it takes to get certain licenses to do certain things, even building permits or all of that. So that's a major challenge that we face. Yeah.
So as a first time visitor to any one of your properties, what can I expect and what's going to make that lasting impression on me?
Mainly a very relaxed atmosphere, very customer friendly, customer oriented atmosphere, and we also try to, especially down in at this property, we are one of the first people to bring in live music, jazz, open mic nights, sort of things where it's a little different to what every other place down in Unawatuna where you have a different type of music, different type of atmosphere. So we changed that atmosphere in the area. So that and very good customer service, very high quality food at a very reasonable price. So that is our main, that's how I believe that we differentiate compared to everyone else.
So can you tell us what the Sri Lankan hospitality industry can learn from markets in the West?
I think it's extremely important for us to harness our local, so domestic tourism, which is a large market that we haven't tapped. For example, I mean, if you see most of the guys in the south, they're really concentrating on the tourists or the foreign folk, whereas we are trying to market ourselves to the locals. Part of the reason is purely business, in a business sense, is that a tourist will give us business off season, but locals will keep giving us business throughout the year. So we need to gear it towards them. And secondly, I think we need to catch on to trends like sustainable tourism, like not using plastic, to making sure that you know that the bays and all of that is continually used properly. So I think that those are the kind of things the tourists look for as well.
One of the main things that I have experienced by being abroad, traveling everywhere, is that end-to-end customer experience, not from the time that you booked a reservation and from the time that you checked out. Even after you checked out, you always keep that interaction with your hotel, with asking them to rate your services. So that is something that we are trying to promote here as well, so that we are trying to retain our customers. Because from what Shehan said earlier also, most majority of the customers who come to Sri Lanka are one-time tourists. So I hope we can change that, where tourists will keep on coming to Sri Lanka, because this is such a beautiful island, and more tourists is always better.
So what is your philosophy behind managing your teams?
So it's a fairly simple philosophy. So obviously, you know, keeping aside the training, the development, etc., etc., I believe we create that atmosphere for our staff to work better. Our theory is we have fun, they have fun, they have fun, the customers will have fun. So it's a fair, simple theory, and that has worked for us so far.
Almost 100% of our employees are local. So and I believe that they know this area more than us, so we learn a lot from them. This is our first time business as well, so we are trying to give a product that suits best for the area.
From the beginning of our venture, all the bands that we have brought in is all local, and not just any local, but the best around, and we have created a team around that. How I see the hospitality industry growing is in all parts of the segment. So you're talking the budget travelers, your mid-incomes and your high net worths. So we need to be able to service all of them. Like we are targeting the mid-levels, we need that service levels going across the budget and the HNIs as well.
In terms of Hoppa, we are trying to create a similar experience with in different locations for different markets. So basically, we are hoping to start another restaurant in Colombo, one in Dikwella, a beachfront property in Dikwella, a hostel in Mathura, another eco-friendly hotel in Hantana, and we are right now working towards acquiring a property in Udawalawe. So that will be the future of Hoppa. We wanted to expand our business, and we wanted to give our service to customers of all over the country.
So as a final question to you both, can you tell us about the secrets to your entrepreneurial success?
The reason why we are partners is I think we are both in the same page.
So basically, we know what we don't know. What that means is that we are happy to listen to other people, and get advice when we need. And that's what he said before, with our teams and all of that. It doesn't matter if it's a manager or my room boy, we will take that feedback. I think that's where our success has been, mainly.
So as the sun sets along the southern coast of Unawatuna, we are wrapping this interview up. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure being with you.
Thank you, pleasure talking to you.